Takiasen, namaste, sarvi mereshtar. So, Osio, all my relatives. Well, Rashini and I are feeling like new souls, I gotta say. So, loving this little native gal who does this Reiki, and she did a nervous system reset. Oh, that was sweet last night. And then there's this like Arcturian full body healing thing, and it's been going live. Oh, wow. But I gotta tell you, 333, ding, wide awake. It's like, well, and then I kind of went into the lucid dreaming a little bit, but not for too long. And it was, let's get to the river. And so Rashini and I were saying, it was hilarious. I'm like, how do you turn? Because there were these running lights on the car. I mean, I could see where I was going. I could tell that there were lights, some kind of lights on. But the dash thing kept saying, turn on your lights, turn on your lights. And I'm trying to figure out how to turn on these lights. Finally found a good spot to kind of pull over and off. I was really concentrating, on driving a car. And got pulled off and had to get my flashlight out because I couldn't even figure out how to turn on the ceiling lights. It's not like I drive a car very often. And turn the knob. I'm like trying to find a button to push. Turn the knob. Okay. So I put it on automatic so I don't have to think about it. Like, that'd be a really good thing for them to do in these rental cars, just put it on automatic. Anyway, that's just me. And I get that. So yeah, I found it hilarious. We get down there and it's like, oh, yes. Just taking myself to that space right here, right now. It's just like this. That's a nervous system reset. So, we wandered around a little bit, and I was going, okay, where are we gonna set up? We took a little bit of a walk where she really, really, really wanted to run a little bit. We ran into the lady that has, she's gotta be a dog walker, or definitely a dog rescuer, if not a walker. She's got 8 dogs, and it's like, I got him on leash, And she was telling me a little story about how somebody had turned loose these little baby ducks, and the dogs just wrapped all the way around her. She just was hanging on. It's like, they're not gonna get the ducks. They're not gonna get the ducks. And she's making these little teeny. She's like, I had to waddle myself like a little duck to get them moved over so she could get herself unwrapped from all of the dogs so they could continue their walk. So I got Rashini on leash and we did our little walk wonder, and I found it interesting. I had gotten bitten by a couple of mosquitoes, and I was putting the lavender on a second time, and my little concoction I make of lavender and cedarwood and a base of coconut oil. And as soon as I got on with the fire family and we began the ceremony, our morning fire ceremony, it's like whoosh. Did not get another bite after that. Not a single bite after that, even after we finished the call the ceremony, the circle, you know, and close the directions and everything. It was just really sweet. Oh, I was greeted by the otter. And the otter was right up there by the grasses. It's just so sweet. And I was giving my offering of the rice. I think the fish have learned me. They come right up through there. And I think the otter, you know, otter's wanting fish. And then there's the one single loon, and it's just a one single loon. Have not seen another loon. It's just the one single loon. And very, very beautiful fire ceremony. I don't remember a whole lot of it. It's around gratitude. And we did a little drive and went up by the butterfly garden during part of the after chat. And then it was, all right, let's get going. Straight to the veterinary clinic. They even opened their door a few minutes early, and it was 2 males, technicians, working the desk and so forth, and I got some really good information. He does not have Lyme disease. Rashini has, it's an anaplaza, something like that. And so they were asking me, like, where have you traveled? And I'm like, you want the list? So, they're like, sure. So I started giving them a little bit of the rundown, but got the bills. It's twice a day. They already cut them up for us. And it's an anti-clotting, so it keeps them from clotting. And they told me, you know, don't be too concerned. Just, you know, give him the meds, and then he's got to be tested again at the end. So I got tested for Lyme disease. I probably need to share with the VA. Hey, you want to try testing me for this one next? And I'm wondering if that's might have been a little bit of the issue the last time they drew blood. I had a very interesting reaction, which I have never had before. So definitely want to get that. Just, you know, it's precautionary. We pulled a few ticks off of us. And there were a few of them where I had like some rashes or like an interesting I guess reaction, or like one of them was almost like a hole, like it blistered over and then it peeled and then there was like a little hole. So anyway, so we get to we take care of that. We get to Staples and get our return and had a nice good little laugh with those couple of I'll call them kids at the counter. And then off to the post office. Oh my gosh, that felt so good. And the lady was extremely helpful. I had sent many of my books, and so the physical books, and sending them off as gifts, and of course then there were some stones and medicine pieces and so forth, and you know, thank you, happy birthday, this is my Eastern way of celebrating birthday, where you give gifts, because there'd be no reason for you to be born and bring your gift if everyone else wasn't here. All of the other animals. So to give the gifts too, and it knows that reciprocation as well. So in a way, it's like you receive gifts for your birthday. For me, it's like Christmas twice a year. Although I don't celebrate the traditional Christmas, I celebrate solstice, and yes, I give gifts on solstice. So anyway, so that felt so good. All but 2 were able to be sent. There's one that I was going to send to Mexico, and it was, you know, you got to fill out these customs forms, and then she shared the amount, and I'm going, it didn't cost that much to send a big, like a box, halfway, well, actually all the way across the country. Right here in the United States. Oh, that's interesting. But anyway, if you send like that, they have what's called a media rate. Who knew? She's like, may I ask what's in here? And I said, it's a book. She goes, and is there anything else besides the book? And I'm going, no, a thank you card. And she's, we can send that media rate. And I said, as long as I get a tracking number, I want to make, you know, I want a printout, and, you know, as each one receives, I can mark them off. And they're like, hey, everybody received my birthday gifts. So that felt so good to do, like a month later. And then we're there, and we're like, okay, bicycle shop. So rather than taking the bike in, I thought, well, I'll grab the manual and the items that I've been using. Oh my gosh, I got such a beautiful lesson from like the bike shop people, experts. And no, e-bike is probably not the way for me to go and travel. So it's great for here around town. No, not doing the hard tires. He's like, no, you do not want to do that. It is not recommended. Number one, you're not going to get the life out of them that you think you're going to get out of them. And it tears up the rims, especially with e-bikes. Mountain bike, but they're really not recommended. So, and then the slime stuff that I put in it that I was recommended to use, absolutely not. And so the tires are going to get redone, and they're going to get done correctly. And he's going to take a look at my trailer and, you know, see about maybe getting her hooked up. And yes, that, you know, also takes the life of the bike, the battery pack itself. And they do pick up and delivery. Well, oh my gosh, I'm just like, wow. So I'm gonna get a whole lesson on this e-bike from like the people, and they're gonna pick her up and fix her and drop her back off to me. It's like, yes. So I'll be able to get around town and do what I need to do here. And then I found it very interesting that as we were going around, I went and dropped off the food that Rashini won't eat. I paid it forward to the Humane Society. They were so grateful and happy, just happy, wonderful, go-lucky people. And I found, well, this little thing, which is extremely versatile. And it was, just a couple of bucks. And I think there was one or two other, some extra bandanas. I can always use my little handkerchief bandanas. Then we were like, well, okay, let's take a look at the list. And we came back here to, I had to get the battery thing for the gate. Made it to Batteries Plus so I could get back in and out of the gate. And we did that several times today. It felt so nice. It was just like, ding, the gate opens. You're pulling through, pull in, hop in, it was so sweet and refreshing. It was like a vacation. We made a trip on out to another little site, and then we went and was like, let's get something special. So we decided to get something special and treated myself to a couple of alligator tacos. And Rashini got just the beef brisket, none of the spicy stuff. They had some that they chopped up for him, special. And Mexican street corn. Oh. So Mexican street corn and alligator taco. We were discussing crocodile medicine, and that's about as close as you're gonna get. Alligator taco. Very, very beautiful energy, actually. It's beautiful energy. And of course, lemonade. So that was very sweet, very special. Just felt like we were on a sweet little vacation today. And we came back here and had a wonderful discussion. Beautiful, beautiful conversation with a grandmother sister I haven't spoken to. We call her little grandmother. Hadn't spoken to her in a while, and we talked for quite some time, sharing back and forth. It felt so good to hear her voice and to share with her. It's been a little while, and kind of making some arrangements to maybe hook up and meet, share a few days, share a little bit of time with each other. And then watched, like today, the 21st, I listened to a wisdom dream, an eye of wisdom, which for me, because I feel the energies a day or two ahead of time really, really strongly, would have been my yesterday. And it was like, whoa, yep, that's exactly what was taking place for me yesterday. And then it's like, come on, Rashini, we need to go to the river. Let's go to the river. So we went back to the river to enjoy a little bit of sunset. It was still kind of a bit toasty. Got in the river, had a beautiful swim in the river. It was a beautiful rock that was keeping me from floating down the river. So I had my feet up against the rock and I'm swimming against the river. But it's not taking me backwards, to put it that way. So there's a good flow. And Rashini got to run around, and then he wanted in the, he actually wanted in the river, but he didn't want to get in by himself. So he's just kind of like, will you get me in the river? So we got him in the river and rinsed and washed him off, and then of course he got the, we're both cooled off and got the zoomies and going, I don't think I want to soak down the rental car. Although it'd probably be dry by the time I drop her off. However, we went for a nice walk, and it was interesting. It's getting closer to sunset. Sunset didn't quite happen yet, but it's getting closer. And Rashini kind of almost disappeared. And I couldn't hear his bells anymore. And so I'm hollering at him. We're getting closer to the dock. And it's like, Rashini? And I hear a jingle. And it's like, sounds like he's ahead of me, but he was over here. Well, I get out into the dock ramp where I could see the car and him, and he is by the car. And he's like, get me in the car. I'm like, I'm coming, buddy, I'm coming. Okay, well, let me get in here and get the button. Let's cool the car off for you. And he's just on high alert. Nose in the air, high alert, tail tucked. I'm thinking that cat, that bobcat or lynx, whichever, it's not a lynx. It's either a bobcat or... I seriously doubt there's a panther in that area. But you never know. But there's definitely a bobcat, because there's been a couple that have spotted it, and even a couple pictures, quick snapshots have been taken. And it took him a little while to calm down once we got in the car. And I mean, he was just... So I backed up, and I'm like, I'm excited, right? You know, I'm just getting the video. I'm like, I'm ready. Come on, come on, come on. Meow, meow, meow. Here, kitty, 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 kitty. And at one point, Rashini was like trying to smell or look out the window. And so I rolled the window down a little bit. And then he kind of like tucked down and was like, I'm like, what is it, baby? What is it? So I rolled the window back up. We hung out there for a little while. Rashini was kind of like, let's get out of here. So we went off and around, and sure enough, there was a couple of kids started coming down. So we took and drove around a little while longer, and I was waiting for the sun to come down to get the actual sunset. And then I got the clear message. Get back to the apartment now. Get back to the apartment before sunset. Okay, so I listened. We make it here back to the apartment, and of course at one point it looked like you've got like the eagle head and then the wings and the yellowy gold. It was so gorgeous across. Yeah. I did my best to take a picture. It's just, there was not really, I mean, because by that time I was more in town with all of the buildings and stuff, so it was a little more difficult to get a picture, but I had the camera ready and I snapped it in between You know, when you're going through like a four-way cross, snapping it in between without pissing off one of the other drivers, which I had done earlier in the day. And they decided, this kid decided to use the median and go all shoot around me in his little Camaro. I'm like, I'm sorry. You know, it is 25 through here. He must be late for work or something, who knows. But, you know, I remember being one of those kids once. Don't we all? So, Rashini definitely, once we got away from the river and kind of this little cubby hole, I was gonna stop and fuel her up. And I got there and it was like, no, just, we'll do it in the morning. And we got back here, found out Kilauea. I call her Pele. And she's doing her 31st episode. Oh, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. And had a really good laugh with Silky. You know, at first I was like in tears going, my gosh, you know, come on people, really, really, really. And then it was like, well, you can't help but laugh at humanity. The silly, crazy things we do. Like building cliff houses and pools and stuff on the side of a caldera. When geologists have clearly said this is not stable ground, you should not be doing this. And they were not, a lot of illegal building and people, yeah, just funny stuff that we do. So, it's been a beautiful day. It's been an empowering day. It's been a giving and a receiving day. It's been like a really beautiful, beautiful day. Definitely worth going through the past. Yeah. So anyway, I'm very grateful. It feels like, you know, you're exhausted. Your body's just like exhausted, but yet you've got all of this energy inside, and the build up and the build up and the build up, and you're trying to ground it, ground it, ground it, ground it, ground it. And the emotional builds up and the emotional builds up and the emotional builds up. And then the release. And then the, yeah. I'm grateful right now to be at the, And so with that, I'm gonna get a good night's sleep and turn this thing off and say, peace, dignity, freedom, braided together equals love. Hey, authentic love that